tonight, partly to mostly cloudy sky, and overnight low will drop down close to 30 degrees. We will end up with partly to mostly sunny skies Friday. Highs upper 30s north, mid 40s south. Saturday, sunny skies will be in the low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
And find the children.
Here we go. From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
I used to, as soon as bowl season started, I'd watch. And now I found myself with all the opt-outs, all the transfers, and everything else going on that I won't watch till this weekend every year.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's rumors circulating message boards and texts and conversations that we would opt out of the final Morning Rush show of 2023, but yet here we are. Big C,
that was
Tommy
an option?
Kraft.
Hang on, wait, that was an option?
It's always an option. You just don't show up to work.
Bye.
Not hard. We are here to serve you, our public, our Morning Rush connoisseurs, our friends, our family, till 9 a.m. this morning. The final show of 2023. We appreciate you spending the entire year with us. Looking forward to 2024. Final show of the year here on a Football Friday.
And it's brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They can help restore and repair damaged joint tissue and those aching joints where you hurt the most. If you're rolling out of bed here on the last day of, or work day at least, of 2023, and you don't want to do this again all year in 2024, call QC Kinetics. Get an appointment set up next week, and they can give you lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
And kind of like the end of a season, entering postseason, you're beaten, you're battered. I still have whatever I'm dealing with. You've evidently got a head cold.
I don't know if you gave it to me or what. Man, I am
keep
hurting.
going backward. I didn't have a headache, but you had. So I don't think I gave you that.
I don't know. I've got.
Is it a migraine?
It's not a migraine, but it's. I've got just that sinus.
I
headache.
had that.
The sinus headache, like it's. I've probably blown my nose 100 times this morning.
Okay.
Already.
Well,
yeah.
I didn't have a headache. I did have some congestional issues. I would recommend honey, green tea, plenty of vitamin C, some zinc, and some antihistamine, and some Flonase too. It's about 6 things right there that you can.
I didn't hear bourbon in there, but okay.
You can. I have some Maker's Mark. Our friend Cindy gave us a bottle of Maker's Mark for the holiday season, so there is that as well. You do have some birthday land sharks over there if you want to try and polish those.
I don't
off.
know that. I appreciate that. I saw that outside my office door. So are you responsible for that?
Yes. Did
Thank
you notice how I repurposed the gift wrapping that was given to us and then I threw it on top
right.
of that?
Appreciate that. So
yeah,
thank you.
You don't look good.
Well, I feel terrible.
Your eyes are like, you look drunk, but you're not.
No.
But your eyes are glazed over.
Maybe I am.
In the sense that this does not look good. Usually you want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you're going to be able to do that today.
I don't know. I just got like sinus congestion. I took some Tylenol or whatever at home. So hopefully it will subside here throughout the course of the show.
Oh, I think people want to know, how was jury duty yesterday?
Well, it was orientation.
Okay.
So we didn't get to
So Daniel Uniontown.
No one sent any. We didn't get to send anyone to the pen yesterday, but it was. I'll be honest. I'm a little curious about the whole process. It was kind of
I was invested, Christian.
Intriguing. So I mean, it was. It'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to impose on my life the way people usually gripe about
People
jury duty.
exaggerate everything.
Yeah.
Number one, I think you're going to find this entertaining. You like to explore on certain things, certain ways that production
I
and
got curiosity about it. Yeah.
Are you allowed to talk? You're not allowed to talk about anything about the case, obviously. But that I would like to hear more about.
It's like
at least,
Fight Club.
At least the process. And
I'm going to guess it will be a lot less interesting than we probably think. It'll be nothing like what you see on TV. I guarantee you that.
It's like it's like you get a case where someone has like 15 unpaid parking tickets and they're debating to send them for 30 days.
This is like circuit court. This isn't district court. District court's where you go for things like that. Circuit court's where you go like you could spend 20 years in the pen. So or longer. Or you could have a murder case. Everything from murder on down.
B in Clarksville says his jury duty was tough. Andy in Mountain Home texted in on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He's asking for a Michael Jordan flu game effort today.
All
you
right,
should watch
got it.
the Last Dance during
Can someone
the
give me a
break.
pizza? But I don't want to get food poisoning from it, please.
Well, I apologize if I gave
I
this
don't
to
know.
you.
It's got, my house has something going on in it.
Okay, well, I'm glad you said that. I
think everyone's got illness in some corner of their life right now.
I haven't missed a day of work for 6 since I've been here, and I would feel horrible if I ever actually stayed home and didn't do a show if I can have the ability to talk and speak, and I'm not scheduled for vacation. So I've just come in, and you're pretty much outside of what?
Got it out.
2 days earlier or 1 day earlier this year. I don't know if you missed a day since I've been here.
Well, and this is like, and anyone that owns or manages or runs a business understands that, like, unless you're in retail and you got the weekend, you got to close out the year. I got a lot of, there's just a lot of things that got to get done here on the last day of the year. So it's not a day to miss.
Yeah,
got to gut it out.
Yeah, as the program director of this fine radio station, that's not just a title. That is actually encompasses a lot of intricate details and accounting aspects and end of year
tell
stuff.
Tell me more about that accounting there, Ty. I'd love to know about that.
Just make sure the deposits make my account. That's I've got to look
That's
at my
why I'm here today.
My bank account and make sure that everything else. But we hope you guys have had a good 2023. Hope you'll have a better ending than it seemingly Tommy's heading towards. Jury duty sounded fun, so if not for the head cold, it could be better.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be a good day. Chuck will be along in a little while, and we will get with it. We're brought to you by World of Wireless, 877-305-3474. One of the things they do at World of Wireless is work on vacuum cleaners. So if you've got a vacuum cleaner in your home and it's a good vacuum cleaner, but the belt or a hose or something's went wrong with it, and you don't know where to go to get it fixed, that's one of the services they provide. They recently purchased the old Fort Smith vacuum, and if you remember seeing the big gorilla sitting out front, they can repair your vacuum cleaner. So, and if you have a central vac system in your home and something's wrong with it, World of Wireless can help you with that as well. Or if you're building a new home, install one for you. 877-305-3474, 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless and vacuum cleaner repair.
Now, the good thing about this head cold that you have is I know Laura has planned some elaborate, lavish, over-the-top New Year's Eve plan on Sunday night. So now you don't have to go. You have an excuse. I know that's something
maybe I want
at
to go.
48 years old on your birthday that you desperately want to do, but now you don't have to. I know this is your least favorite holiday of the year, even though it's your birthday. It's like
my least favorite?
It's a combination of
I don't know. Columbus Day may be up there somewhere. But no, I'm looking forward to Sunday. I don't know what plan. We've got options. Let's just put it that way. We've got a couple options on Sunday and probably going to make them all. So I'm looking forward to it because don't have to get up and go anywhere Monday other than the golf course. And I'm hoping that's the other thing. The weather's going to stink a little bit next few days. I mean, it's going to be manageable, but 50 is going to be like the high. That stinks.
It's going to be 30.
But it's New Year's.
Yeah. Bundle up wherever you are. Again, it's
supposed to be cold.
It's a lot colder now than it was these.
You're going to Chicago?
Chicago.
What are you going to do there?
We got a steakhouse reservation tonight. Lou Malnati's tomorrow. Watching football and taking in a nice wedding. Close out the 8th one.
A wedding.
2023.
Oh, we should have known.
Close out the 8th one.
Should have known.
I got 10 on the calendar
involved.
next year. So
Jeez.
giddy up.
Good Lord. All right.
Part of it, man.
All right. Well, that's where we begin here today. We are brought to you also by Pradco and the Smithwick Original, Suspending Rattling Rogue. Get this thing in your tackle box. Fishing season on the White River as far as state park openings coming up soon. You don't want to miss it if you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, and boy, you can do that this weekend. Take along this rogue. It'll suspend in the strike zone longer, helping you catch more fish no matter what current you're working it in. That's the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. Find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and your favorite tackle store everywhere. Again, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
Speaking of football, I want to talk about bowl season coming up. Chuck's going to join us in about 20 minutes, but before we get to him, I've got some thoughts on what's been going on.
Join the local conversation on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Call or text 877-377-6963.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Jam-packs house here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barling. I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Shop the store that honors Christ all year. Shop the Solid Rock. Are you looking for that perfect inspirational gift? From greeting cards to home decor, custom laser engraving, and women's boutique items, the Solid Rock is your source for local, hard-to-find inspirational gifts for everyone in the family, including a large selection of Bibles with free name imprint. Solid Rock. Score the perfect gift, share the spirit, enjoy the inspiration. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th and Fort Smith, the Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 48 years.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot during the after Christmas sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Now through New Year's Day, Harry Robinson will pay your sales tax. Get no payments for 90 days, and nobody pays more for your trade than Harry Robinson. This does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Now through New Year's Day, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
And they lob it down low to Graham. They've got a mismatch there. Now they switch. Put the 6'9" Johnson on it. Nice feed underneath. Mitchell with a cut and the lay-in.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
And the latest edition of the Give Me the Hogs Talk podcast is out as of this morning. So if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to that, you can do so. Again, hitthatline.com or Spotify, iTunes, wherever. John Mountain Home, Tommy, back to the jury duty that we were talking about last segment. He said that he got summoned. He lives in Mountain Home to do jury duty in Fayetteville. And he said there's no way that I'm driving 2.5 hours to do that. So apparently he skipped it. I don't know if there are
federal
repercussions or something on that.
You've got to live in the county you're serving, or at least, that was part of what they went over yesterday. Because there was someone in there that lived in Bentonville that had gotten inadvertently summoned. They were immediately excused. So,
well, that's not bad. Again, this is a process. The only thing I know about jury duty is 12 Angry Men. Great movie. That is the extent of my jury
duty. Here's what
duty.
they did tell me. Now, number one, we will never be sequestered. They won't have to worry about that.
Okay.
Most of the trials last a day or less.
That's not bad.
And if you have to deliberate after 5 p.m., they bring in pizza. So you'd be your kind of deal.
Ooh, pizza. I'm going to have pizza tomorrow night. I can't wait. Yeah. Had it last night. Had it earlier this week.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd probably be right in there. Hey, do you have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and it's going to reprice maybe here at the end of the year? Get long-term fixed-rate options with Farm Credit. They can levelize and make sure your payment stays the same for the life of your loan. And don't worry, if rates drop, you can easily readjust your rate with no new refinancing application, no new appraisals, and no new title work. They just make it simple. Find a Farm Credit office near you. MyAgLender.com is their web address. MyAgLender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
Did you watch any of the games last night? Did you watch any of the college football that was in front of us? The Oklahoma Sooners were on. I know there's people that watch Oklahoma, not just that are Sooner fans, but that watch Oklahoma with the pure intent of hoping they lose. They did not last night. They ended up beating, I guess, Arizona in that game. Trying to find the score real quick again. I did not watch this game. Arizona actually did win 38-24. For whatever reason, I thought Oklahoma had won. So the Wildcats win, and Arkansas fans are happy because Oklahoma once again loses at this point. The reason I didn't know the score is because I didn't watch the bowl game. You know what I was watching last night? I was watching Cleveland and New York battle it out. Cleveland Browns have clinched a playoff berth with 38-year-old backup quarterback Joe Flacco. That, to me, is more interesting than any of the games yesterday. You know why? Because none of the players are playing. Dylan Gabriel, who had a great season for Oklahoma, he's up in Eugene. A bunch of other guys that aren't playing are just, it's not intriguing whatsoever. And I think it's been a combination of the college football playoff. I think it's been a combination of opt-outs. And I think it's been a combination of the transfer portal.
And your team's not playing. See, my lack of interest in bowls to this point is there's nothing to compare your team to. So Arkansas is out. So it's kind of like the NCAA tournament. Yeah, still watch it. And it's far more appealing in the NCAA tournament. But think about it. When Arkansas is in the tournament, you watch a lot more postseason basketball. If Arkansas is not in the tournament, most of us, or that once they get eliminated, you lose a lot of your interest. So I think that's it with bowl season for a lot of us is Arkansas is not participating in the bowls this year. So I'm just not as interested, particularly in these games that have no consequence at all.
See, I think that is true for me for football. Basketball, I've watched the NCAA tournament since I was a kid, regardless of Arkansas. And a lot of times Arkansas hasn't been participating, if we're being honest, or hasn't participated past the first game or the first weekend. Luckily, Muss has gotten this thing at a point where you expect to be a second weekend tournament team. I'm fully invested in the NCAA tournament every year, but I do think that our audience is probably more akin to what you just said, how you just framed it, that the tournament is more important than stuff. Baseball, as soon as Arkansas loses in baseball, everyone, I don't know anyone in our audience for the most part that continues with a sense of, I've got to see who wins the College World Series. I might look at the final game or I might look at the championship, but rare is it that you have someone that follows college baseballs intently. But with, again, football season, I think, again, how it's gone to 4-8, maybe that has skewed people to even have more of a negative feel on this bowl season because of how Arkansas played out this year.
I would agree with that. Brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Northwest Arkansas. They're looking for licensed CDL drivers to deliver cement and concrete to their job sites that, the contractors and the projects trust the great materials with Standard Materials Group and APAC Arcola. If you have that CDL license with no backup or no reverse restrictions and you're looking for a great opportunity, not be on the road, not have to be out all night, not be out for weeks at a time, great pay, great benefits, well, they've got an opportunity for you with APAC. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
So on that note, is it still football Friday through the Super Bowl, or do we start as of 2024 to fast break Friday? Because
I think it's basketball season now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Even with I didn't know if post-national championship, if we move on at that point.
Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
Could do that.
Next.
I think we're more of a college football show than we are a pro football show.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that's like January the 8th or whenever it is.
What are we going to be talking about the most? Arkansas basketball, right? SEC basketball. So, yeah, I think we become more fast break than football.
I do wonder, and you said it
just
before.
Because we'll all be focused on that, particularly once SEC play begins a week from tomorrow with Auburn.
I do wonder if the Dallas Cowboys actually go on a run this year, which I don't think they're going to be able to based on them having to go on the road. The Eagles have a one-game advantage over the Cowboys. This is going to be a fascinating NFC race because you have the Lions, the Eagles, and the San Francisco 49ers all vying for that number one seed. If San Francisco gets it, I'm going to be really hard-pressed to see anyone advance in San Francisco and beat them and go to the Super Bowl. But that is going to be a fascinating race. I think Dallas can get one game. They'll probably play Tampa Bay or whoever comes out of that division, and then probably it's going to be tough sledding after that going to either Detroit, Philly, or San Francisco. I don't have the playoff in front of me, but I think that would revamp some football talk because I, like you, think it's going to subside once the college football playoff championship is decided on Monday the 8th. But the Cowboys start winning, then all of a sudden it's going to pick back up again because you're going to all have all the love and hate for Jerry Jones in Dallas.
Yeah, and what people's interest around our part of the world go as far as the Chiefs and the Cowboys, and right now neither one look like they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl. So I just wonder, kind of how the playoffs work out, particularly with the Cowboys and how far they can go. So that to me is going to be the interesting thing. Hey, one thing you might want to do this holiday weekend, this New Year's weekend, is get by and see either location at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers.
Yeah, go by and see Keith and his team in both Russellville and in Fayetteville. Keith and Sally will take care of you in Russellville, and of course, they'll take care of you in Fayetteville as well. The Fayetteville location has curbside. It has a drive-thru. I took advantage of the drive-thru about a month ago, got me a nice grilled chicken sandwich, fries. Got to get the fry sauce. Always get the fry sauce. Get you a large cup of fry sauce for your whatever burger, chicken, fries, chips. Take it home with you as well. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. The voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, joins us one final time in 2023. Coming up next.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi here with my
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, Sakale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
my card. I'm just saying I'm not going to win any tricks. And so then you go about trying to lose every single one.
Let me just make sure I'm understanding. You're saying if I'm beating you and you're losing, you have to kneel to me? Is that what I'm understanding?
Not quite like that.
That was our conversation. It was National Card Playing Day yesterday. Chuck teaching me a little bit about spades. We had plenty of responses to some of our favorite card games on the Morning Rush. I would guess a few of those are going to get played at some point this weekend. But for the final time, we'll be rejoined and welcome in Chuck in 2023, and we'll do that in just a sec.
It's brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine, all natural treatments that can relieve and restore that damaged joint tissue in your back, shoulders, knees, hips, wherever you hurt, with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. 479-999-1234 is their number. There are clinics all around the country, and we have one right here in Northwest Arkansas. And don't forget, you can also use your health savings accounts, your HSA or FSA funds at QC Kinetics. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics here in Northwest Arkansas.
Chuck, you got any big plans this weekend outside the basketball game for New Year's?
Well, if I can make it to midnight, it'll be a miracle. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, you know how at the end of a season, a college football season, players are beaten and battered. There's bruises and banged up. Tommy's got a head cold. I'm still a little bit under the weather from this week. It seems like you might be the only one that's fully healthy.
I feel great.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
So far, so good. I'm sorry Tommy has a head cold. I'm sorry you're not 100%. I went through it around Thanksgiving. I went through it then, and it lasted 2 or 3 weeks. So I feel you.
Oh, boy.
Tommy had his first part of jury duty yesterday. Chuck, I know we talked about this a week ago, but I don't think I asked you. Have you ever been through jury duty of any sorts?
I have not. No, I've never been through it.
You've escaped it at some point in time. One of the few. We've gotten plenty of text on it. Tommy, you acted like you somewhat enjoyed it a little bit yesterday.
I was curious
well,
about
it.
Well,
got paid.
Yeah, $15.
Hey, lunch.
$15.
That's more than you thought you were going to get paid.
So, but they explained the process. I'm a little curious about it. I'll be honest. Learn something new, and it's not nearly as terrible as we all make it out to be, because you're not stuck for days and days and days. You can only be called like 10 times in 4 months. Yeah. So it's not terrible, and they said usually it's about 5 to 6.
Okay,
so not a terrible deal.
Not horrible. Well, he seemed to enjoy jury duty a little bit. I have not enjoyed bowl season at all. Mentioned this a little bit yesterday. I want to touch on a little bit this morning. I've done a lot of reading these last 24 hours, just kind of on different opinions. There have been some positive things about bowl season, some negative things, but and maybe it's just because I'm more of an Ebenezer Scrooge at this point of year. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, as you referenced yesterday, and I just have a more negative view on things. But I have really, really stepped away from the college football bowl season this year. And Tommy made a good point earlier. Maybe it's to do with Arkansas season not going according to plan and me just being angry with how college football has gone this year.
That's probably got something to do with it. I don't know that that's the overriding issue for people, but I think it's got something to do with it. There have been some good games. It didn't go so well for Oklahoma last night, but that was that was an exciting game. I thought the Kansas State-North Carolina game, honestly, was the best bowl game I've seen so far because, North Carolina State had a fifth-year senior quarterback, and it seemed like, anyway, both teams had more of their players maybe than some of the others do. I get your point. The thing that bothers me about the bowl games is that, used to when we talked about this, I talked about this yesterday with Matt Jones, that, you'd fill out your bowl picks, and you'd base your picks on what happened during the season. Now, before you can even take a look at a ball game, you've got to figure out who's going to play.
Right.
And that, the transfer portal, and I've heard a lot of different opinions on this. I don't know when the best time to do it, but the portal's affected it, and I get what you're saying. I don't fully agree with it because I still like the bowls, and I'll still watch them, at least parts of them. But you're not the only one saying that, and I get it.
It's kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament, or certainly baseball's postseason. Once your team's eliminated, or if it's not involved, you may watch, you may be interested, but you're less invested. If Arkansas was in a bowl game, I think we'd all be a little more invested in postseason. But I was sitting here thinking earlier, and you just nailed that thought that I also had, that these teams are not a true representation of what they were in the regular season. So what are you really watching when you sit down to watch, the Gasparilla Bowl or whatever?
Florida State, for example, is suiting up their third-string quarterback against one of the best defenses all in college football. And if they lose to Georgia, everyone's going to be saying, oh, they're validated, not putting them in and whatnot. This team that we're going to see against Georgia doesn't have Keon Coleman, their best wide receiver, doesn't have Johnny Wilson, one of their best wide receivers. I mean, they don't have any of their offensive components that made them so successful, including Jordan Travis this year. Now, one is because of injury, a couple others are because of getting ready for the NFL draft. You look at last night, the Oklahoma game that you referenced, Chuck. Dylan Gabriel's in probably Eugene, or he's about to make his way to Eugene, Oregon in just a bit to be the quarterback for the Ducks next year. He wasn't soon up. They had that new kid, whose name I'm forgetting last night, that's supposed to be the quarterback of their future. So there is an excitement and appetite level for fans that, hey, we get to see what next year and the years to come look like. But that's not what you want to see to close out a season. You want to see these guys finish it out, and rare is it nowadays that even guys that enter the portal will still play that final game because there doesn't seem to be enough of a pro for them to do so.
Well, I don't know what the answer is. And in some cases, you're right. Now, there are still more kids than not that go play in the bowl game, and I don't think we should lose sight of that. There are many, many kids who opt out, but there are many, many more who go and play the game. And I don't know. You're just going to have to find some way to bribe them. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, in the NIL era, I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, there's just got to be some kind of financial incentive. And I hate to say that, but I just don't know how else you do it. And even then, I don't know if the incentive that you could offer would add up in their minds to what they could gain by not playing.
Mm-hmm. And that's like some players obviously have an opportunity in the NFL to get ready for that they think, oh, if I don't play in this game, I won't get hurt or whatever. We've seen instances like Jamison Williams, Jalen Smith, there's a few others where guys have fallen in the draft because of an injury in that bowl game, and the insurance money that they made wasn't enough to cover what they would have made in a certain draft position. You mentioned the bribe. What I think about is, like, here at the radio station, we obviously have clients that do regular season with us, and then we have postseason clients. Chuck, I don't have your contract in front of you. I would guess you get paid more money to do a postseason game in football and basketball. I know for me, I have my regular season stuff, and then I get paid more for postseason. So that's not like an egregious thought for players to have. It's not just about what happens in the regular season. They think, and I think rightfully so, based on how our business works, they should be compensated for postseason too.
Well, I don't know about the more or less part, but I know that there's got to be apparently there's got to be more incentive for them to play in the games, and I don't know that it's money. I don't know that that's it. I mean, you cite some of these players, and you're right. I mean, there are All-America type players that are not going to play in their bowl games. And I don't know, very honestly, what kind of financial incentive you could offer them to play in that bowl game that is going to, in their minds, be equal to what they could gain in the pros by not being injured.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear what you're saying, but I just don't know that there's an answer to this.
And Marvin Harrison, I think, is the example that I could use for today. Missouri takes on Ohio State. It's either today or tomorrow. I think it's today. But Ryan Day hasn't revealed if he's playing or not. And when asked, he's dodged the question. There is nothing that the best wide receiver in college football could gain by playing Missouri today, in my opinion. He only has something to lose. And I love watching that kid play. He's been awesome. But he has everything to lose and nothing to gain in that game.
Well, I think when you talk about this, you've got to recognize and acknowledge that there are 2 or 3 different angles from which you can come. I mean, players not playing in bowl games because of the NFL draft, that's been going on for 25 years. There's nothing new there. It's the portal that has really decimated the rosters for bowl games. Now, I know a lot of people have suggested, and I've not really heard pros and cons on this. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. A lot of people I've heard have suggested that you don't open up the portal until after the bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. The bowl games, if you go to the end of the bowl games, you're talking January 8th. I mean, in most college situations, you're either at the start of the second semester or you're no more than a week away from the start of the second semester. And if you're going to get them in there to play spring ball, you've got an even shorter window with which to move if you're a team or a player. So I don't know that is the answer. I've heard a lot of people suggest it. It does seem as though it might solve the ills for the bowl games. But I don't think people beyond the 12-team playoff that's coming and the bonuses maybe that come from going to a bowl game, I don't know. I just I don't know what's going to happen with him.
And
I don't think the future's bright. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and that's what BE was texting, the exact point you raised. Could you move in? Tommy, that's what you always bring up is we do forget at times there is a school aspect to this. You can't just pluck someone in March and say, oh, hey, by the way, you can come to school here. Like, you have to get set up for this either first semester, second semester, the interstitial. Whenever you come in at this point, you can't just, again, come in mid. It doesn't work like that. That's not how college sports work, particularly in football, like Chuck just referenced when it came to kind of getting settled before January.
And like the rest of us, just the basics. You got to move. I mean, you got to pack all your stuff up, and you may. In some cases, it's across the country. Well, yeah, that's not just rent a U-Haul and go.
Again, what we're talking about might be a solution in terms of the bowl games. I don't know that the bowl games are what everyone's trying to save beyond the playoff. And that was the point I was trying to make a moment ago. Now, there are people out there that get bonused pretty well for going to bowl games.
Yeah.
But I don't know that from a grand scheme perspective, saving the Independence Bowl is the objective here. I just, again, I'm not sure what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is, but this is what we have now. And bowl games beyond the playoff are in large part going to become exhibitions.
Yeah, and that's what they are now. I mean, let's just be honest. What we're seeing are tourism events. These are events that are put on by visitor and tourism and Chamber of Commerce people, ESPN as well, to have something to put on television to draw visitors to their cities. But watching the little bit I've watched, a lot of these stands aren't full. A lot of these places aren't full. I'm wondering if there's really a payoff, because I don't think fans are traveling and spending their money on a lot of these games when the team's really not intact.
Well, you'd think that, but yet business has got to be pretty good, and there's got to be a profit turned, or people still wouldn't be fighting to have them. I mean, people are fighting to get a bowl game all the time. That's why there's umpteen million of them. Is for whatever reason, there is value in it. And I'll give you an example. This bowl game down there in Shreveport. We've been talking about how the Independence Bowl is going to die for 20, 25 years, and it's still alive and kicking. It's still there. Nobody goes. Nobody cares. It's in a bad stadium. Shreveport's not a vacation spot for the holidays, but yet it still not thrives, it survives. It's still there. But my point is evidently there are enough people with corporate interests who feel like the investment remains a good one, that whatever, and Tommy talked about tourism. Well, let's not be cynical about it. Cities and towns do that every day. If they're not recruiting a bowl game, they're trying to recruit a lawyers' convention or a police convention or any kind of convention that'll put heads in beds and make them some money. That's what everybody's trying to do. And evidently, there are still enough people that are doing well enough at it that they keep doing it. If everybody was losing money on these minor bowl games, they'd stop.
Yeah, and we always have conversations with our friend Stuart Grimm over at Explore Branson, and he talks about how they're just booked up all year, not with just sporting stuff.
Travel ball, boat races, fishing tournaments.
Well, that's what cities do.
Yeah.
And when you have a stadium that allows you to host a bowl game and you are well connected enough to pull it off, and you have corporate sponsors, and you've got enough money to pay the salary of an executive director, and you've got enough money to pay your bill. No, seriously, you've got to have an executive director to make a bowl work. Somebody's got to run it. You got to have the money to pay him. And if you can turn enough of a profit to keep the lights on, there are folks out there that evidently feel as though it's a good investment from a marketing standpoint, and that's why these bowls survive.
Yeah. So,
hey, let me tell you something. Let me try to just a quick example before we go on. I hadn't thought about Pop-Tarts in 5 years until watching the Pop-Tarts bowl yesterday. And I mean, I thought about Pop-Tarts all night long last night. I hadn't eaten a Pop-Tart, I can't remember when. So don't tell me there's not still value in the investment of bowl games. Evidently there is.
Did you go buy a thing?
No, I didn't go buy any, but I thought about them. And that's the first step.
At
You
least
got to get it embedded in somebody's mind before there's a call to action.
I'm forgetting the K-State head coach, but they
Kleiman.
Yeah, Kleiman, the guy that came from North Dakota State. Did you see the giant pop? Obviously, they had the Pop-Tart trophy.
Yeah, they had the big Pop-Tart there. Looked good.
They also, and then so you got the there's the Idaho Bowl where they dump fries on you. The Duke's Mayo Bowl where they dump the mayonnaise on you. I've never had Duke's mayonnaise in my entire life, but I at least know what it is. Like you're saying, I've had plenty of Pop-Tarts.
It's a regional product.
Is it?
Really.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. We need like a Skyline Chili Bowl or something. But I will say brands like I'm not necessarily watching the games. But like you said, those brands have kind of stuck in my
Absolutely.
craw. They're
Gasparilla.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy mentioned it a minute ago. There's all kinds of advantages for these corporate entities to gain through bowl games. It's still good business, and that's why I say I do think some of them are going to go away. I think the 12-team playoff is the seismic event that is going to tip the scale for some of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good business. And as I've said before, I've never talked to a player. I've never talked to a player's family. I've never talked to very many people, period, that came home saying, man, I wish we hadn't gone to that bowl game. I had a lousy time. Most of the time, it's a pretty good experience. Hey, if you're buying or selling a home, I can tell you how you can have a good experience. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. I partnered with them multiple times as a buyer and a seller. And what I can tell you is that each time I did, I dealt with someone who understood the market, understood the business, was the best trained, really, in the real estate game. And, look, new years bring changes. Perhaps a new home, perhaps the sale of a home, the purchase of a new one is part of your 2024 plans. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, will guide you through the process. Your line of communication will be open throughout. You'll not have to wonder what's going on. I promise you they'll keep you informed every step of the way. And then when you sign the contract, they'll help you get to the close. And that's sometimes the most important part. A lot of times it is, as a matter of fact, and it's really what they do best. Now, they've got an office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith. They're in Branson now. And you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Well, B.E. in Clarksville texted in on the McCarty Daniel hotline, Chuck. He said he took it a step further. He had not only just a cherry Pop-Tart, but a brown sugar Pop-Tart as well last night. So he had 4 Pop-Tarts.
That sprinkly one they had there on the sidelines looked pretty good.
Pretty good.
Brown sugar, you've got to toast it. You've got to warm it up.
Yeah. Chad in Texarkana said Duke's has the best mayo and Hellman's is second. I guess I need to try. My dad loves mayonnaise, puts it on everything, so I guess I need to
It wasn't
get
Duke's. It was the Belt Bowl when Arkansas played there, and then it changed.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. There's no mayonnaise bath back then.
I feel like that just sounds disgusting, getting mayonnaise.
Well, it is
in.
disgusting.
Just getting that poured all over you. Ugh. I forget which coach won that ball.
But it makes us talk about Duke's mayonnaise.
They're getting free marketing from ESPN Arkansas across our airwaves. All right, let's talk to our residential Tennessee Volunteer fan, Craig, who's in Deer this morning. He's got some thoughts on bowl games. What's up, Craig?
Fellas, how y'all doing this morning?
We are good, man.
I'm happy to be me myself. Hey, just real quick on these. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said, I'm a big fan of Journey. I love it. It's one of my favorite bands. But Steve Terry doesn't sing for them anymore. They got some dude. He's good. He ain't Steve Terry. And I would go see Journey if they were like in Little Rock or Fayetteville. they don't have their base player. They got a guy playing base who's good. He ain't Dusty Hill. That's why I look at these freaking bowl games. I mean, you go to them, but it ain't the lineup. That's so. Yeah, I like to see Journey, but it doesn't like seeing Journey from Steve Perry. It's the same thing to me. So I'm not gonna. I'd go to Red Rocks to see the original ZZ Top or Journey, but I'm not leaving the state to go see a half-foot lineup. I'm just not going to do it. That's the way I look at these stinking bowl games. The only games that have the real lineups, the real deal, are the four that are in the playoffs. And quite frankly, I got more interest in the 14th playoff than I do watching Tennessee play Iowa, even though I want to see the game. Hell, half our team ain't even playing them. It's like a spring training game. I'll watch it. I'll be interested in it. But, what the heck? It's not even the team we played the season with. So, anyhow, that's just my thoughts. Y'all have a great rest of this year. And let's hope for a great 2024.
Spring training game really is probably the best analogy. I mean, it really is. Yeah. I mean, you've got good players. I mean, you go watch a spring training baseball game, good players, big league players in many cases, pro players in all cases. But it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing. I mean, Nolan Arenado may be playing third, but, if you got Johnny Lunchbucket playing second and short, it's just not the same thing.
Yeah. And so that game's in, like, Orlando. You were talking about you like going to Orlando, Tommy. That where Tennessee's playing is in Orlando. It's a popular town, especially this time of year. You got tourists. You got a bunch of other things you could do. But I'm kind of like him. If Arkansas was in a bowl game this year and they had a bajillion opt-outs, of course I'd watch it. We'd talk about it after. But I have found myself so heavily invested in the college football playoff since it started and since its opt-outs and the transfer portal became more that I don't think Craig's the only fan. He's a Tennessee fan. We've got Oklahoma fans that listen to this show that probably watched last night, but they probably care more in some cases about what's going to happen on Monday between Alabama and Michigan and Texas and Washington. And I don't think Craig's the only one that feels that way.
Couple of points. Something you said yesterday, Ty, about they don't care. I forget who you were talking about, but it doesn't matter. You said they don't care. Tommy said a minute ago, not as many people in the stands as perhaps there once were. The thing that I fear is going to happen, and the thing that I think will happen, is once the 12-team playoff really kicks in. Once we're 5 years into this thing, maybe not even that long. I do think fans are, and perhaps even sponsors, are going to begin to take the attitude, well, if they don't care, we don't care either. Even though the I won't say overwhelming majority, well, maybe I would. The overwhelming majority of players and coaches still do care. They still do care.
Mm-hmm.
But the 10 or 15 who don't are going to set the narrative for better or worse. And I fear that happening.
It is so much tougher, and you should be, as a competitor, it shouldn't matter. And we've heard that time and time again. But to your point, it is a lot more difficult as a player, whether you're just a highly competitive. When you play in front of a packed house, it's not hard to get jacked up, whether it's a hostile crowd on the road or it's one at home. But when there ain't anyone in the stands, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, it just doesn't have the same flair. It just doesn't have the same juice. And that Florida State-Georgia game should, but it's not going to. I would be very surprised if that place was 75% full, which is a lot better than a lot of other bowl games, but that should be a game that everyone's jacked up, but the best players aren't playing, so it's hard for fans to get excited about that game.
Boys, New Year's is here, so fishing season, boating season, lake season not far around the corner. Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo begins January the 4th, runs through the 7th at the Rogers Convention Center. Don't miss the unforgettable experience as they showcase the best in boating and outdoor adventures. Power boats, pontoons, cruisers, bass and hunting boats, and a lot more. There'll be fishing guides on hand, so you can schedule trips, dock building manufacturers, outdoor furniture manufacturers. You can visit with marinas and resort staffs and more. So learn from the experts, test out the latest equipment, gain insights, and get the best deals on boats. Don't miss the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 4th through the 7th at the Rogers Convention Center. It's where your next adventure begins.
So we've talked a lot of bowl season. We will talk basketball as we start Hour 2. Final show of 2023, Hour 2, coming up.
It's time to harvest the year's best deals during Value Bonanza at WT Equipment. Right now, get a New Holland Workmaster, Power Star, Boomer, or T5 Series tractor for $0 down with 0 payments and interest for a year. No money down, no payments for 12 months, and no interest for 12 months. The deal only lasts through December 31st, but the inventory will not. Visit WT Equipment today. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Ho, ho, ho! 'Tis the season to be jolly, but not if you're stuck on a ladder cleaning out those old rusty gutters. It's time to make your holidays merry and bright with Leaf Guard Gutters, the only true one-piece seamless covered gutter system on the market. Imagine a Christmas without worrying about muck and mud and shingle grit clogging up your gutters. Leaf Guard guarantees it will never ever clog, giving you the gift of peace of mind. And here's a festive offer that will have you singing carols all the way to the phone. Our end-of-the-year sale. Get a whopping 75% off labor on a complete Leaf Guard system. But that's not all, my friends. There's no need to check your list twice for any hidden fees, because you just need to know that the offer does not include the cost of material. And here's another reason to celebrate. With our special financing offer, there's no monthly interest if paid in full within 12 months. That's right, a Christmas miracle for your wallet. So don't let the old gutters be the Grinch that steals your holiday cheer. Call Leaf Guard at 501-664-5400 or visit leafguardandmore.com. Leaf Guard of Arkansas, making your Christmas merry and your gutters worry-free.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
This is the Morning Rush.
Merry Christmas from your friends at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This month, save a whole lot of money with year-end pricing on a huge inventory of Rath road-ready vehicles. Plus, follow us on Facebook for how you can win $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. Remember, whether you're buying a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle is moving to their new location starting January 1st at 803 North 11th in Fort Smith, next door to Witts Marine. Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle is here for all your fishing needs. Boss Cat Catfishing Tackle, Catfish Probate Terminal Tackle. Make-A-Wake has Todd Huckabee Ghost Rods, Bobby Garland Baits, a large selection of Daiwa rod and reels. Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle, moving to their new location on January 1st at 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, next to Witts Marine. Make-A-Wake Bait and Tackle.
Fall is one of the best times of the year. Football tailgates and cooler weather reflect the new season and a fresh start. In Good Spirits has you in mind this fall with a wide range of beers, fine wines from their climate-controlled cooler, and the very best in premium liqueurs. In Good Spirits has redefined the standard for liquor stores across Arkansas. Stop by today and see why. You'll be glad you did. In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South in Fort Smith.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see cloudy skies. There's a slight chance of a few snowflakes across the north. Our high temperatures will be into the upper 30s to near 40. Decrease in the clouds tonight, that's going to allow our temperatures to plummet into the mid-20s. And then Saturday, sunny skies, not quite as cool. Our high into the low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I used to, as soon as bowl season started, I'd watch. And now I found myself with all the opt-outs, all the transfers, and everything else going on that I won't watch till this weekend every year.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And back here on hour number 2 of the Morning Rush. We were just talking about bowls yesterday and last segment, and we'll do so coming up in this hour. But one thing I will be watching, haven't necessarily been watching the bowls, is the Arkansas basketball game tomorrow as you take on UNC Wilmington. Yeah. Make sure I have that right at this point. I had down Asheville, and then I was like, no, it's Wilmington. It's where my cousin lives. I actually have a cousin
over on the water.
Yes, and they love it. That town is awesome, apparently. I want to go see them at some point in 2024. Musk talked about them yesterday at a press conference. We'll talk about them coming up in just a sec.
Brought to you by QC Kinetics. They can give you your life back in 2024 if you're avoiding or not doing the things you love. Maybe it's fishing, hunting, golfing, whatever it may be, that you just can't seem to do it because of joint pain, and your doctors told you surgery, drugs, or downtime are the only ways they can help you. QC Kinetics has a way with regenerative medicine to relieve your pain, whether it's arthritic pain, whether it's pain from an injury or pain from a previous surgery that won't go away. There's the lasting healing powers that your body has. They'll take those and put those right to the source of the pain, right in the joint where you hurt the most. Call QC Kinetics about this advanced regenerative treatment now. 479-999-1234 is their number. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
So I may have just been a little confused on the team that they're playing tomorrow, but Muss is not confused. He knows exactly the caliber of team that his team's got to beat.
Yeah, all you got to do is look at Wilmington's record. That lets you know how good they are. But we try to schedule teams that are really good. I mean, that's the object of what we do. We don't sit in the office in non-conferences and say, hey, how many wins can we get? Let's just schedule wins. I mean, you schedule people that you think can challenge you. You schedule people that you think are going to have good, like them beating Kentucky. It's not good for the SEC, but it's good for our strength of schedule.
So Duke is probably going to hold up as your best non-conference win. But if you beat these guys tomorrow, it's probably number 2.
Might be. As we were talking yesterday, I saw where, and they are the favorite in the Coastal Athletic Conference, Athletic Association, I guess is what they call their league. And I know Lenardi had them in as the automatic qualifier in the NCAA tournament. That win over Kentucky that's a big win. And, Kentucky arguably right now is playing better than anybody in the league, and yet they lost to them. So, this team can shoot. They can score. They average 85 a game. Arkansas's got to protect the ball. They had a slew of turnovers in the first half the other night, and then they really cut it down in the second half and scored 55 points. This team forces about 14 turnovers a game, and they score about 18 a game off those turnovers. So you better protect the ball. But now, as you say, if Arkansas plays well, wins this game, and there's every reason to think they will. It is a game that when you get to March, and you may need every single one of them. Believe me, you may need every single one of them when you get there. This is the type game that, could become a feather in your cap later on.
And on the subject of offense, Eric Musselman, again, there's been plenty to gripe over about his defensive play, but apparently they've been really working on offensive practice in 2-a-days.
I think the guys have done great. I mean, we've been able to go 2-a-days. Prior to the last game, we've gone 2-a-days, since we came back from our Christmas break, and it's allowed us to clean some things up offensively. It's allowed us to do prep. It's allowed us, hopefully, to see some of the holes that we have in areas that we have to have growth in.
And the turnovers, they had 12, like you're saying, the other night. And I know Keon Minifield provided some rebounds and did some stuff, had a few more turnovers that Muss would have liked. They have, again, I think he's going to be your primary ball handler moving forward. This stretch of games, these non-conference games he's getting to play in, are so crucial because we know the ball pressure, the defensive sets, the skill set on the other end, it's only going to pick up in SEC play, so he's got to curtail those turnovers along with the rest of the offense before they get into conference play.
And I think there is a nature to this team. We've seen them rise to the occasion when the lights have been a little bit brighter. Now, that was on the home stage against Duke and against Purdue in an exhibition, but I do believe there is going to be some merit to the idea that when conference play gets here, they're going to ratchet it up a few notches, just like everyone else will. But I think this team does have a little bit of show pony in it, and they know when it counts the most.
This team is going to be a team this year that when Kentucky comes to town at the end of January, they're going to beat them. When Tennessee comes into town at the end of the year, they're going to beat them. But when you go to South Carolina, who might be a little better in Lamont Paris, but is still not a great basketball team, they're going to lose. It is going to be an up-and-down year just like last year. There's going to be times you're like, this team has what it takes. There's going to be other times you're wondering if this is an NCAA tournament team because they haven't shown us any reason to believe that they're going to have consistency through what we think is going to be a pretty even SEC this year.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see who can get road wins when we get into conference play. And I don't want to get the cart before the horse here, but it's going to be a lot of these teams you look at them, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi State. These teams, Ole Miss, they're going to be really tough to beat at their place. I mean, these are not going to be easy trips when you go play there. And you look around the league, and I think that a lot of teams, frankly, are in the same boat. I know some have higher nets than others do, but their records aren't that far apart. And Arkansas's net's a lot lower, but they played really good teams too. And so I just think going on the road and getting wins may mean a little bit more this year than it has a lot of years.
I tend to agree with you on that.
It's not going to be easy. And Arkansas has never, and no team in the SEC is really a great road win, but that's where your quad one opportunities and quad two opportunities are also going to be. It's not just the marquee games I mentioned with Kentucky and Texas A&M and Tennessee coming in here. You're going to have these quad one opportunities on the road with maybe just a decent SEC team rather than an elite SEC team that's coming in your building.
All the quads and the nets and all that stuff will take care of itself if you win games. Yes, quad one games are important. I'm not minimizing the importance, but when you're playing a team that you should be able to beat, those are the games you must win. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win every marquee game. The idea that you're going to play 4 or 5 marquee games the rest of the way and you're going to go unbeaten, good luck with that. And I say that for anybody in our league. You got to win the games you're supposed to win, and then win your share of the marquee games. And we can do the math. You look at the numbers. Arkansas's got to win some ball games.
Yep, 8-10,
and they know that.
Yeah, 8-10's not going to cut it this year. 9-9 might not cut it either. You're going to be on the fringe at that point, and depending on those wins are. We talk about that in football too.
Well, you better beat Wilmington on tomorrow afternoon, or a lot of the stuff we're talking about with conference is going to take on a whole different meaning.
Exactly right. Hey, camping season's coming up. Wheels RV has what you need to really enjoy camping season in 2024. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley are all at Wheels RV. And you get a lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell at Wheels. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
All right, plenty of bowl stuff to go into. We had plenty of text here on the McCarty Daniel hotline talking about kind of opinions on what's been going on with bowls. You've got transfer portal. You've got opt-outs. You've got the college football playoff, which we've got coming up on Monday, and then the expansion next year, how that changes. You might see an opt-out for the first time ever in the college football playoff with guys potentially having to play 17 games, and I know people are not going to be happy about that. We're also going to get into your favorite moment of 2023. It's the last show for us in 2023. What was your favorite moment? Arkansas, personal, doesn't matter. All that coming up.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Razorback Trey Wade, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McCarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McCarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McCarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
for the December 10th game, because it was the closest game that they had around Christmas that was a home game. And this was back when Rodgers was still the quarterback, and I thought, man, this is the year. He's 15 years old. It's going to be a good memory. And then, of course, Rodgers immediately gets hurt. These are 8th row seats, so I'd saved up for them, bought the plane tickets, bought us 2 nights in a hotel there in Jersey. And then, and then leading up to the game, of course, C.J. Stroud and Houston, they're on the Cinderella roll. And Zach Wilson had been benched the game before and was, people were saying he didn't want to play. And I'm thinking, oh, man, this is going to be a disaster game to go to. And so I'm thinking, please, God, just give them a good game, give us a good memory. And for whatever reason, the game just flipped on its head. And you guys, you can look back at it and see the Jets just came out swinging. They won 30-6 in a game that they were supposed to lose by, I think, 14 points, or a wide spread for NFL games, that's supposed to have some parity. And to sit over and just keep looking to the right and seeing my son just lit up and taking his, just taking it all in. And that was really something. And that memory, that was well worth the trip. I'll always be thankful for having that moment with him. And I know it don't have anything to do with Arkansas, and I'm an Arkansas guy, but as far as sports moments go, that one has to be way on up there with the Hunter Heave to me.
Any father or son out there could hear exactly what you're talking about, and the memory you made that will last forever with both of you.
Yeah, and Steve, I can tell you, so my dad, we didn't really go on excursions. Oftentimes, our vacations were built around sports trips. One of the first experiences I had was going to New York and seeing I believe it was a Giants game. My brother was a Jets fan growing up, so like your son, he's a giant Jets fan, or Jets fan, not a giant Jet fan. But it was an awesome experience going to New York, seeing everything. Apparently, I complained the whole time. Sounds exactly like me, little spoiled brat. But those father-son trips are hard to beat at this point. But speaking of the NFL, we do have some really important NFL games this weekend, starting with the Dallas Cowboys as they are hosting the Detroit Lions. And Chuck, I know the Miami game didn't go according to plan for Cowboys fans, but I mean, you got a chance to knock really Detroit out of the 1 slot and still get a massive win heading into the playoffs 2 weeks out.
Well, Detroit's a good team, and I think I saw yesterday for the first time in a long time, every game in the NFL the last couple of weekends, one of the teams has a playoff possibility on the line. And obviously with the Cowboys and Lions, you've got 2 really good teams there. So, yeah, that'd be a good win. Dallas has been really good at home, and they've been so-so on the road. Mm-hmm. And I suspect that'll continue to be the story. I don't think anything changed with the loss, and quite honestly, I don't know that a whole lot will change with a couple of wins, other than it assures they won't have to spend the whole time maybe on the road if they can find a way. I don't know how the bracket breaks out. They may have to win one on the road early. I don't know, but at least they might get a home game in there somewhere. I
think my impression, I could be wrong about this, is they will have to travel regardless as the wild card team, but I think they'll have the luxury of playing the worst team in the NFC, which I think is probably going to be the Buccaneers. So going to Tampa versus going to Philly or Detroit or whatever initially is not as bad to me. At least that's
Dallas has only been, again, so-so on the road, and so I wouldn't say on the road they're a lock to do anything, but I wouldn't say either it's an automatic L.
Now, Chiefs are hosting the Bengals. They should be able to win this weekend after what happened against the Raiders.
Know, man.
But
I don't know. They got issues.
Come unraveled. Yeah.
They've got issues now.
And they lost to a backup quarterback. They got to taste it.
That's not what it's about. It's those boys up front right now. If you watch the Chiefs, we can talk about quarterbacks till we're blue in the face. It's an 11-man game, and they got issues with the 5 that put their hand in the ground. And until they fix it, they're going to keep struggling.
They got issues with receivers catching footballs, too, and that's been a season-long issue.
Even Kelsey dropped, opening possession last week, and he's supposed to be the sure-handed guy for Patrick Mahomes, and that's not been the case. So, let's see. Eagles hosting the Cardinals. That should be a win, even though they have been good. And then 49ers at Washington. I still anticipate that San Francisco is a walk away as the 1 seed, but, again, they're neck and neck with Philadelphia and Detroit right now. I mean, Detroit could, if they beat Dallas this weekend, they could be the 1 seed in the NFC, and that's pretty remarkable how Dan Campbell has really turned that franchise around with them.
You know, all season long we've watched them win, at least I have, and kept thinking in the back of my mind, yeah, they're a lot better. They're good. But, you know, they're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not really a contender to go to the Super Bowl. And yet here we are, and as you say, and I don't think them going to Dallas and winning's out of the realm of possibility. I think Dallas is the favorite, and they really played well at home. And if they keep playing well at home, they'll beat the Lions. But I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility Detroit goes down there and wins. And the way they're built, if they can go beat the Cowboys in Dallas, they can beat the Niners in San Francisco. That may be what they have to do.
I guess the Packers technically aren't out of the equation, I think, just yet, but I don't think they're going to make any noise in the playoffs. I'm kind of rooting for the Browns. They win last night. Joe Flacco's 38.
Yeah, they're in, man.
They clinched the playoffs. I mean, this is a franchise that's only been in the playoffs, I think, 3 times the last 20-plus years. I'm kind of rooting for the Browns.
I'm so old, I remember when Joe Flacco was a rookie for the Ravens. People have been ragging on this guy from the minute he started playing professional football. There's never been a year when there's not been somebody out there that says, man, Joe Flacco really sucks. We got to replace him. It happens every year. He's even out of football for a little while. But, you know, the NFL has trended over the last decade to playing young quarterbacks way too soon. You see a guy like Baker Mayfield just now beginning to blossom as a professional quarterback because he played too soon. There's value in a veteran, and Joe Flacco's 38 years old. Nobody's going to do anything out there on the field he's not seen 1,000 times. And that doesn't make him an automatic. But, I mean, the results pretty much speak for themselves right now.
Jets have one of the best defenses in the league, and they hung 37 on them last night. Dog pound, that is a happy town right now, the way they're
good up front. They're good up front right now.
Myles Garrett, they got a good defense too. But it's kind of the NFL setup for the weekend. I know we got other fans out there, but in terms of kind of our regional up here, that's what you have in front of us. If you're a Cowboys fan and Chiefs fan, you're just not exactly thrilled with how your teams are playing right now. But as we know, the playoffs have changed. We've seen Patrick Mahomes do crazy things at that point. Maybe he does it again. They're going to need him some Superman type of heroics from him in this upcoming playoffs.
You focus too much on the quarterbacks, man. I mean, you really do. There's a lot more to it than the quarter. I mean, Mahomes is still a great quarterback, but you talked about receivers dropping balls. You talk about, offensive lines not playing well. There's a lot more to it than
You're 100% right. It's hard to push back on that.
I just want to hear you say that.
And listen, I heard it was joy to hear Tommy say that to me yesterday.
Hey, let me talk about Baxter Health for just a moment, Ty. Let me mention them. If you're in the north central Arkansas area, southern part of Missouri, you know how fortunate you are to have a magnet-recognized facility with all kinds of specialties. It's truly a situation where the services they offer are going to rival anything that you're going to find in a lot of places. And they've got specialty clinics, and they've got family clinics, and there are a good number of them, not only throughout the north central Arkansas region, but into southern Missouri as well. And they really go to the people in those areas and serve them in a way that makes everybody a lot more fortunate. I'll just put it like that. Right now they're looking for LPNs too. If you're an LPN and you specialize maybe in acute care, they'd like to talk to you. You can find out more information not only about Baxter Health, but also the hiring that they're interested in doing right now. You can log on to baxterhealth.org.
So you brought up Bowl Pick'em earlier a little bit. We're not doing one this year. I know halftime. Christian, you're up on the halftime one, right? Aren't you ahead at this point in time?
Yes, at the moment.
Keep that up. Keep being Matt. Keep being Phil. But I've had some people ask me why we aren't doing Bowl Pick'em this year. It's just because I think, Tommy, you set it up earlier. Arkansas football wasn't any good this year. There's not necessarily the same appetite you would have for at this point of the season. But we're not lazy. We are pretty busy at this point in time. But with the transfer portal, with the college football playoff, and with NIL, what do you think is hurting bowl season the most? of those three categories? Is it guys saying, you know what, I've got to get ready for the NFL, I don't have time for this game, or I don't want to get injured? Is it guys, you know what, I need to go elsewhere, I need to have a better opportunity? Or is it just the college football playoff that's sucking the life out of the room that's saying, well, this is the most important. If we don't make it to this point, especially next year, why would I care about this game? What's decimating the most of bowls?
I think it's the portal. I think it's the, when you really look at the players that are not playing, it's the portal. As we said a little bit earlier, guys opting out of bowl games to get ready for the draft, that's been going on for 2 decades now, over 2 decades. Yeah. I was talking with Matt yesterday about when it happened with Sean Andrews. First time it happened here, and you think about it, that's been over 20 years now, or right at 20 years. So that part is not really the issue to me. It's the fact that, and Kiffin summed it up pretty well the other day when he said it would be like, you're 2 weeks before the AFC and the NFC playoffs start, but you're going to have open free agency right before the playoffs begin for everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what's going on right now. But if the portal was pushed back, I'm sure you'd have more players playing bowl games. I don't know how you can push the portal back a whole lot, though, frankly, given the academic calendars of most universities.
What you said earlier, and I think you said it too, there's no reasonable solution. You know how sometimes, like, we've talked about the SEC, what they should have done with Texas and Oklahoma in the league. Move Alabama, move Auburn over, Texas, Oklahoma, put Missouri in the West, you're good to go. They're not going to do that. They're going to do something else. Eliminate divisions, go whatever way they're going to go. I haven't read anything. No one's told me anything in regards to bowls. Chuck, you kind of made a point about it earlier. There doesn't seem to be a reasonable solution. And so if you're bowl sponsors, if you're ESPN, if you're the players, if you're the coaches, there's sometimes light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know where that light is. I don't know how bowl season is going to get better from 2023 on.
Well, it's certainly going to be interesting to watch. And, look, we've tried to shovel dirt on a lot of these bowls for a long time now. And they're still out there. They changed sponsors, but they're still there.
Yep.
And now I suspect some will go away. I do think the 12-team playoff is what's going to push some of them over the edge. But, as we were discussing a little bit earlier, there is value in having a bowl game named after your brand. Pop-Tarts, Duke's mayonnaise. Now, granted, there are some bowls out there, like, for example, I guess it's the ReliaQuest Bowl now. It was the Outback Bowl. To me, it's just the Tampa Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't know that with some bowls as much value in corporate naming rights as there are in other bowls. But I'll go back to a point I made earlier. If this was bad business, people would stop doing it. But I would venture to bet Pop-Tarts has a record day today, at least in terms of the last 10 or 20 years after the Pop-Tarts Bowl yesterday. I think more people are probably aware of Duke's mayonnaise than they ever were before. That mayonnaise bath is gross, but people talk about it. People do. So it's a complicated equation, and what interests the fan 1,000 miles away is not necessarily what determines the success or failure of a small bowl game. But I do think the 12-game playoff has the potential to be the tipping point.
Yeah, and I also think about we being starved from college football. I know there's arena football, there's other NFL, not NFL, but other stuff once college football ends. But you basically have January the 9th until the end of August where you don't have any college football. And so we have some people that are like, well, I'm going to watch every bit I can because in less than a month, I'll have 8 months where I don't get it.
Well, so far, the viewership has been enough that the sales folks at ESPN have been able to convince enough corporate sponsors to invest in this bowl game, whether it be through advertisements on television or sponsorship of the bowl game itself. Evidently, there are enough people, enough eyeballs on it that it's still profitable. Is it 8, 9, 10 million a year? No. Or 10 million a game watching? No. But that happens in the regular season, and that's why the contract's worth billions of dollars for the right to televise it. You don't make billions necessarily off these minor bowl games, but again, the profit's evidently enough that they're going to keep doing it, at least for the time being. Now, the question again is, once the 12-team playoff gets underway, is the profit going to be enough? I've got questions about that, but so far it has been.
See, I think it's like you said, I think that's going to be the ultimate. Like,
you may be
killing.
right,
Now,
and I tend to think you're right, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, it'll be start next year. We'll see it. The Bill Hancock stacking. There's a lot of, and there's also transition within the sport. You think about Mark Emmert. I know Charlie Baker's been on the new president of the NCAA. Has been here a while. Bill Hancock stepping down. There's transition in the sport. Yeah. A long time. Guys stepping down, which I think is interesting when it comes to the changes of college football.
But remember, nobody wants to contract unless they absolutely have to. They're not going to contract unless they just absolutely have to.
Yeah. But always remember that committee is going to be bound by conference champions for at least 4 of the spots. So if they're ranked high, so I mean they'll be picking teams, but some of them are going to be kind of picked for them. All right, our Fitz Man Friday picks are coming up. Speaking of picking, we'll pick some games coming up here in just a bit and some of the biggest college football games of the year. I want to tell you about Gaston's White River Resort. If you're picking a place to vacation, to get away, to unwind and relax inside 2024, think about Gaston's. Winter rates are in effect. You can save the most right now on a winter trip to Gaston's. I love fishing in February at Gaston's. It's a great time to get really on those big browns and big rainbows as they come off the spawn. Not as much pressure on the fishing, and it's just a great time to really get to Gaston's and kind of have the place to yourself, so to speak. So that sounds appealing to you. You can call 870-431-5202. They'll get you the cabin that you need, get you set up with a guide. It'll be a trip of a lifetime to Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Hey, this is Montague Brown, the former Razorback, and you listen to the Morning Rush.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Are you tired of looking at your old, grimy, and mildewy bathtub, looking to replace it with a beautiful walk-in shower, but cash is tight? For as little as $89 a month, no payments for 12 months for consumers who qualify, Remodeling Loans can put you into a beautiful new walk-in shower in as little as 1 day. You can rest easy knowing that Remodeling Loans, a network of certified contractors, screened and handpicked by us, offers premier products, top-rated service, and value, increasing the beauty, safety, and value of your home. A new walk-in shower will also provide you with a germ-free, slip-resistant, safe, and beautiful new bathroom. Call 800-921-1403 and take advantage of our holiday special of free installation. Our agents are standing by, ready to schedule your appointment with our design team at no cost and no obligation to you. All callers will receive a free upgrade of premium colors just for calling today. A beautiful new walk-in shower is now within reach. Call 800-921-1403. That's 800-921-1403.
This is the Morning Rush.
All the Road Hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
The biggest and best selection of 2023 and 24 Fords is at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. Harry Robinson has a great selection in stock and over 24 new Fords on the way. F-150s, the all-new Broncos, Mach-E Mustangs, and the super popular Ford Maverick. Plus, get financing as low as 0% on a new Ford. And Harry Robinson has never and will never charge over MSRP. The best selection of new Fords is at Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Attention homeowners, storms are firing up quickly and widespread damage means thousands are reaching out for the right roofing company. Don't wait. Get on the schedule with Shamrock Roofing and Construction now for quality and peace of mind. One call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100. Need a new roof? Shamrock Roofing and Construction can have you covered right now for as low as $139.99 with approved credit. For quality and peace of mind, one call does it all. Shamrock Roofing and Construction. Call 479-319-5100.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Discover the ultimate adventure at the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 4th through the 7th at the Rogers Convention Center. Check out a vast array of boats from surf boats, pontoons, cruisers, and fishing vessels by the finest boat dealers in the area. Learn from experts, test out the latest equipment, and gain insight that will take your next outdoor adventure to new heights. This show is a perfect place to see all the boat brands at the same time and compare. The Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 4 through 7 at the Rogers Convention Center, where your next adventure begins.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
And we got basketball to close out the year tomorrow in Bud Walton Arena, 4 o'clock. Chuck and Z will be courtside starting at 3:30 right on these airwaves and hitthatline.com. Got a chance to catch up with Eric Musselman yesterday. And I know some of you asked, hey, why doesn't Caleb Battle start? Here's what he said in regards to bringing certain guys off the bench.
It's really comforting to look down the bench and be able to have a go-to scorer. I mean, we did it with J.D. Note a few years ago. If you just start your 5 scorers or however you want to word it, and then you get down in a game, it puts you in a dilemma then.
Now, he's changed different things over the course of the year. He started certain teams differently in the NCAA tournament than what they've done in the regular season. We saw the 4-guard lineup last week against Abilene Christian. He didn't necessarily say that was going to be prevalent a good chunk of this season. So Guys, Caleb, again, has come off the bench, I think, in every game this year, but that doesn't mean he start. But they do like him for that purpose that he just listed, really give him that spark.
Have something in reserve,
yeah.
Well, every game's different. I mean, every opponent's going to be different, and there's an ebb and a flow to the season. For example, I wonder if we will see Tremont Mark reemerge as a starter with Battle continuing to come off the bench. And I'm talking about tomorrow afternoon because, they've got a really good point guard. I mean, a really good one. And they got a 6'7" guy that is a complete player and an elite scorer. And somebody's got to guard those guys. Now, I'm assuming Devo's going to get one of them. I would guess, and I'm just guessing. It would be the shorter of the two. Well, somebody's got to guard that 6'7" guy. I mean, somebody's got to.
Yep.
Now, just because you don't start or just because, you come off the bench doesn't mean you still can't play 35 minutes, maybe 36, 37, and Mark's certainly capable of doing that. But I can't help but wonder if he's not going to be the guy that guards this player for the bulk of the game tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. But, Mark is a guy that I think for this team to be as good as they can be. Now, Devo time's going to come. We know when Devo time is. But between now and then, I think Mark's got to be the best player on this team if Arkansas is going to be as good as they can be. And I know that's a mouthful, but this guy can be a player. I mean, he can be a real player. He can be a winning player. There's still some things that it sounds like they'd like him to improve on. But this guy's got skills.
Isn't that wild how we just kind of glossed over? We know what Devo's going to do in the postseason. I mean, isn't that crazy? Like, his sophomore year, he didn't have a great year.
Well, we don't know it, but that's what we've seen in the past.
And we expect to. I think 7 of the 10 double-digit game or tournament games he's been in, he scored double digits. And I think about, like, their first year when they're down. I'm forgetting the team they played, but he was a big catalyst to their first half comeback. I mean, that guy just shows up in the postseason. Not that he doesn't show up in the regular season, but he's seemingly always there ready to play in the postseason.
Well, whether it's Devo, whether it's any of these other guys, I mean, if you wait till March this year, it may be too late.
Yep. That is going to do it for your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, it is the final edition of our Fenceman Friday picks in 2023. Tommy, you currently have, I think, a 3-point lead in this one. So what are we going to do, Chuck? We're going to cook the books. We're going to give as many picks and as many games as possible.
We're going to gang up on Tommy.
Yeah, we're going to try and do that. So, Tommy, you're going to pick first in every single one of these picks.
All right.
We welcome in our friend Sean.
Wind blows strongest at the mountaintop. I understand.
From the Fenceman as welcome. Sean, what's going on, man? How's the last week of 2023 treating you thus far?
Well, it's amazing. We're having a great time at the Fenceman, and everything's just moving right along. Can't ask for it to be any better.
All right, well, let's move right along in this segment to Fenceman Friday.
Fenceman Friday Picks. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
We're talking about Davante Davis and what he's going to do, just kind of the expectation. Tommy, right now on the Bet Saracen app, he is plus 190, over 5.5 points and 2.5 assists. Does he have 6 points and 3 assists tomorrow?
Yes. He does.
No, he does not. He does not have that.
So that's plus 190, bet 100, win 190.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? If he goes 6-3?
Yes, 6-10. Not bad. Sean, what do you think, man? Does he do it tomorrow?
Sure he does.
All right, we got 2 on that side. All right, let's pick some games, fellas. Florida State against Georgia. Guys, Georgia's a 19.5-point favorite in this one, Tommy.
Wow.
Dogs or Noles?
Boy, you're just really flipping a coin. I'll homer up on the league. I'll go with the Dogs.
Florida.
Can you imagine a 19.5-point underdog after going 13-0?
They're playing their third-string quarterback, though. They got.
I'm just saying that's the power of the portal. You said what's affected bowl games the most? I mean, there's your answer right there.
That Glenn kid's suiting up. I think Georgia's going to be up like a good 21-28, and then Florida State at the tail end is able to make it not a reasonable game, but around 17 or so. So I'm going to take Florida State, Chuck.
I'm going to go with Georgia to cover. I'm sorry. I
can't help
hang
us
with you
out
on that one. I don't think Florida State will score 10 points.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding. John, what do you think, man?
I'm going to take Florida State in the points.
Okay.
A lot of points.
John,
let's go to
a lot of points. You're right about that.
Let's go to the playoff games. Alabama gets Michigan. Michigan somehow a 1.5-point favorite, Tommy.
Ooh, that's basically a pick 'em line at that point. I'm going to go with Alabama in this.
Alabama, Chuck. Bama.
Ramma Jamma.
Ramma Jamma. John, you going Oppo or are you going to stay with us?
No, I'm going Michigan.
Washington against Texas. He's going Oppo. Texas is a 4.5-point favorite. I think Texas ultimately wins this game, but Michael Penix is ticked off and they barely lose. I'm going to say Washington covers. Texas moves on, Tommy.
I'll take Washington.
Give me the Huskies, Ty.
All right, give me the Huskies. What are you thinking, Sean?
Same here. I cannot pick Texas. Got to go Huskies.
All right. We got an interesting a parlay, guys. Dallas Cowboys to win after each quarter against Detroit are plus 1,000. So this game this weekend, if they're leading after every single quarter, they're plus 1,000. Parlay that with Jared Goff and Dak Prescott throwing for 300-plus yards each. I'm going to say that happens. And I'm going to make a lot of money this weekend on the Bet Saracen app.
Parlays are hard to hit, so I'm going to say no.
I'm going to have to go no, Tom.
No? Yeah. Even for your Cowboys?
Yeah.
Oh, not a fan.
Cowboys are ahead at the end of every quarter. It's hard to believe Jared Goff's going to throw for 300.
That's a good point
fair.
right there.
What do you think, Sean?
I'm like them. No way.
No way. Yeah. All right. That's where we close.
All right. Those are our Fence Man Friday picks. Sean, Happy New Year. I know you're trying to add some people to the team for 2024.
We sure are, man. We are so blessed. We've been able to sell a lot of work, and we're looking to expand and grow and bring on some good quality people. And so if you know how to build fence, or you're a quality fence builder or welder or someone in the trade that's looking to do that, please give us a call at 782-3936 and come by and see us, and we'll put you on the staff if you've got what it takes to be part of what we do here. And not only just take quality work, but they also have great customer service.
Sean, Happy New Year.
It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in-office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's right. Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is The Morning Rush.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Merry Christmas from your friends at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This month, save a whole lot of money with year-end pricing on a huge inventory of Rath road-ready vehicles. Plus, follow us on Facebook for how you can win $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. Remember, whether you're buying a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is making the middle of the week something to look forward to. Wednesdays is Nacho Average Wednesday. Get $1 off all nachos every Wednesday and try the all-new ballpark-style pork nachos. And draft or bottled beers are $1 off. Every Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Enjoy some of the old Cuco's classic platters, just the way you remember them. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtech Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtech prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtech Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtech Technology without the headache.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, "The sweetest fruits of life come from serving others." And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see cloudy skies. There's a slight chance of a few snowflakes across the north. Our high temperatures will be into the upper 30s to near 40. Decrease in the clouds tonight, that's going to allow our temperatures to plummet into the mid-20s. And then Saturday, sunny skies, not quite as cool. Our high into the low 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
I used to, as soon as bowl season started, I'd watch. And now I found myself with all the opt-outs, all the transfers, and everything else going on that I won't watch till this weekend every year.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious
matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And welcome back into hour number 3, the final hour of the Morning Rush in 2023. We'll be back next week. Excited to kind of give our thoughts on the college football playoff on Monday. It's coming up. I know that's really the only couple of games that I'm heavily going to invest my time and my watching into this point. Bowl season just hadn't done it for me this year. Probably won't for years to come. One of the guys that we've built a relationship with on this show is Pat Smith. He does a radio show across Alabama in Birmingham. We're going to talk to him not just about the college football playoff, but what's going on with bowl season coming up as we begin this hour, Tommy.
Football Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. They can repair and restore that damaged tissue that's kept you from the things you love. Golf, tennis, maybe hiking, maybe just going to the stadium. Walking up the hill to the stadium this year. Maybe you skip that because that knee hurts. Get over that pain with lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime with QC Kinetics. 999-1234 is their number. 479-999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by McLarty Daniel. McLarty Daniel has a vehicle to fit both your style and budget. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, you're never too far from a good deal. Visit McLartyDaniel.com to find your next ride.
Pat, I would ask you if you mailed it in, since it's going to be your last show today, but you guys have a playoff game ahead of you in Alabama. The Alabama Crimson Tide take on the Michigan Wolverines. It's still surprising to me that Alabama is the underdog in this game. What's the sense across Birmingham and your airwaves, and how much do you think Nick Saban will maybe utilize that to his advantage this weekend?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt there's going to be motivation. I mean, when you have Jim Harbaugh 2 days ago basically say that Jalen Milroe reminds him of his backup quarterback, I think that's some pretty good motivation. I think Alabama loves being in this role. They love being in that role when they went to Atlanta and knocked off the number 1 team in America, the Georgia Bulldogs. So any time that Nick Saban can pull that type of motivation out of a coach that they're facing or another team, I mean, that's big. But I agree with you, Ty. A bit of a surprise. Not sure if some big money is going to come in before the kickoff of this game on Monday. But I really thought it would be around a pick 'em by the time that we got to kickoff. But it's held firm. The Michigan folks still like their team and at 1.5 ahead of Alabama.
Jalen Milroe's story is fascinating. At one point, he was benched this year. I didn't think he had it. He showed me and everyone else that doubted him that we were wrong. What was curious to me and puzzling is the comments that he made this week that former Alabama OC Bill O'Brien was like, hey, you should switch positions. How crazy was that story, especially with talking with Alabama people this week?
Well, it's interesting because, for an organization like Alabama football, and of course, players nowadays, they're more emboldened because of NIL, because of the transfer portal, things of that nature. They're a little bit more free in regards to when they have an opportunity to speak to the media. And it was a bit of a surprise that he admitted that. Listen, behind the scenes, that has been the conversation with Jalen Milroe since he got on campus. The problem was trying to read the offenses and read the defenses properly and throw to the right guys, quit making the mistakes, didn't practice. I mean, that's why, Ty Simpson and him were battling for the number 1 job. That's why Tyler Buckner came in as a transfer from Notre Dame. I mean, there was a body of work there that Alabama was not very comfortable with. I know that he's using that as a motivation now, but everybody knew that Bill O'Brien, listen, last year at the Sugar Bowl, Bryce Young's finale down in New Orleans, when they were having bowl practice in New Orleans, Jalen Milroe was lining up at H-back. He was lining up in the slot as a wide receiver. They were absolutely looking at other positions because he is a freak athlete. That goes without saying. It was just the fact that, he wanted to play quarterback. He just needed to be put into a system that they could utilize his talents. And it took Tommy Rees getting here about 6 games into the season before they finally figured out what to do and how to use Jalen Milroe effectively.
Pat Smith with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. He's the co-host of 3-Man Front in Alabama. Pat, you mentioned kind of reading defenses. Part of that is watching film, kind of diagnosing what certain guys and certain coaches are trying to do. In terms of film this week, Alabama has an interesting twist. Usually players can take their iPads with them, go wherever, watch film, the hotel, outside the hotel or whatever. But because of the Michigan stuff, it's restricted to team meetings in rooms. Is that solely just because of what Michigan was caught doing with Big Ten and also in the college football playoff?
Well, there's no doubt about that. And one other caveat to that I want to point out to everyone, because maybe folks in your listening audience may not have seen this a couple weeks ago, but I think this was a brilliant move. And this shows you the brilliance of Nick Saban. So Nick Saban goes out and he hires former Michigan assistant George Hilo. So George Hilo was a linebackers coach. He basically was going to be demoted from the linebackers coach at Michigan when they brought in Chris Partridge. And so Hilo said, you know what, I'm gone. I mean, he spent 2 years at Michigan. I mean, he was very involved in the success of this Michigan program, winning the Big Ten, knocking off Ohio State, and getting to the college football playoff. But he's been out of it the last year. Well, what does Nick Saban do? Nick Saban goes and he hires him, and so he has been on campus. He has been at practice. He is there in Pasadena working with Alabama, working with the linebackers. And you would have to think, I'm putting two and two together, but you would have to think that once Hilo got in the building, he told Nick Saban and the rest of the team, okay, guys, look, this is the way Michigan is going to approach this game, whether it's legal, illegal, unethical, ethical, whatever you want to say. I think George Hilo kind of put a little bug in Nick Saban's ear about what Michigan does and how they've done it in the past, and I think that's why Alabama started taking those safeguards just to be sure in regards to protecting the way that they were going about their business or what they were looking at least on their iPads or in their team meetings.
Pat, I think the games on Monday are going to have massive ratings. I mean, you've got marquee opponents, Alabama, Texas. I know Washington doesn't have the same appeal on our part, but that's a pretty strong brand out west. I do wonder, though, when we get the ratings back for the other bowls, how big of a dip that they'll take. What do you think has killed bowl season the most? Is it NIL, opt-outs, the college football playoff expansion? In your opinion, why have bowls gone by the wayside?
Well, I think more than anything, it's the fact that you just don't know who's actually going to be participating in the game. Now, granted, you've got the brand, you've got the name of the school, but then you have so many opt-outs. You just don't know. And if you're a ticket seller for these bowl games, I mean, you just kind of throw your arms up. I mean, you're trying to have a good experience. Granted, it's an exhibition game. I know people in Las Vegas have been gritting their teeth because every day you just don't know what starting quarterback at the last minute is going to decide they're going to sit out, or the top defensive player, linebacker, is going to sit out the last second. So I think more than anything, the opt-outs have controlled the issues with these bowl games. But, you know, moving forward with this 12-team expanded playoff and the at-home playoff games that you're going to have next year, I think that they have got to come together and they got to figure something out, because I don't want anything. Listen, we have our own bowl game here in Birmingham, the Birmingham Bowl. In the state of Alabama, we've got one in Mobile. We've got one in Montgomery. Needless to say, you know, not too far away from you guys, at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis today, they're going to play a historic bowl game. You know, what's the history or what's the future moving forward with the Liberty Bowl and these other, you know, let's just be honest, second-tier bowl games once that this extended playoff happens? So I'm very concerned with that, because I'm a historical, old-school type guy when it comes to college football. I would hate to see anything happen to those games, because I do think that there's a place for it. It's just that they've got to get in a room and they got to figure out what's going to be best for the overall growth of the game, especially for the non-Power 5 schools.
So I think we're getting nods across the room, Pat, on that. And I'm putting you on the spot. It's, again, Pat Smith's with us here on the McCarty Daniel Hotline, co-host of the Three Man Front. What's the solution?
Well, I haven't taken any calls from Bill Hancock lately asking me my opinion. But if you were to ask me, I think that you integrate the bowl system somehow, perhaps, in the college football playoff. Now, they're already doing that with the upper-tier bowls, but I'm talking about, you know, what's going to move forward with, like, a bowl like the Liberty Bowl. Heck, I was reading an article in the Dallas Morning News just a couple mornings ago, and the Cotton Bowl folks were kind of, you know, throwing their arms up in the air, kind of questioning, okay, you know, where are we going to be in all this once this is all said and done with this 12-team format? So I don't think it's a very complex question, you ask me, and I don't think that any of us, as much as we do follow and love college football, I don't think that there's a simple answer. There's going to be people like Greg Sankey are going to have to get in a room and they're going to have to try to figure this out. I just don't think that there is a simple answer, but I do think there is an avenue or a pathway where we can have all of these bowl games and still have the growth of the game.
You kind of alluded to it there. Are they going to expand the playoff? I mean, we're going to 12 next year. I mean, how quick they said 4 was going to be a while. It wasn't. When are they going to expand the playoff, Pat?
Well, I mean, some people say just adopt what the FCS does. Why not? I mean, everybody was so worried about these kids not being in class and, taking all this time off. Well, I mean, how many people are concerned about FCS schools? I mean, they put together a bracket. They see the tournament and they go about their business. They've been doing it for a long time and they've been successful and it's a good product and it seems like fans tune into it and they enjoy watching it as well. Listen, it's a matter of time. I mean, we heard it at the end of the BCS. Once Alabama and LSU, you had the rematch down in New Orleans in 2011. Everybody was like, we got to get rid of this. That's the BCS. Okay, here we go. College football playoff. This is great. Oh, yeah, 4 teams. Fantastic. Then all of a sudden, everybody was griping and complaining about the 5, 6, and the 7 teams that left out. Well, we all know what's going to happen now. They're going to get ticked off because the SEC is going to have 4 or 5 teams. Big Ten's going to have 4 or 5 teams in the playoff. And then you're going to have 2 or 3 teams scrambling to try to get a spot in the college football playoff moving forward. And then that's going to make everybody say, well, you know what, we just need to change that. We need to go to 18 or we need to go to 24, whatever the case may be. But it is just a matter of time that will be a conversation that you will see people having.
Pat, here's the last thing for him. We, again, appreciate you joining us on our final show of 2023. So we got the expanded playoff next year. I don't think it's going to happen in Tuscaloosa. If Saban can convince Bryce Young and Will Anderson to beat the tar out of Kansas State, I think he's not going to have a problem convincing kids to play for a national championship. Will we see for the first time ever a young man opt out of the college football playoff next year?
You might have. Listen, I think it's more likely. I mean, let's take these conference championship games quickly. Let's just say next year you have a situation kind of like you did this year. You have Alabama and Georgia. Well, based under the system for next year, both of those teams pretty much would have already qualified for the college football playoff before they went to Atlanta. Why would certain guys opt to play in a game or a team go at it 100%? Granted, listen, you want to win an SEC title, you have a chance to perhaps have a bye in the college football playoff. But if you're a beat-up team and you're going to play in a conference championship game and you're not going to be a team that potentially is going to get a bye, you might start seeing teams go, you know what, why are we playing these conference championship games? Let's just bypass that and not even have those type of title games. I think you're more apt to see potentially that type of conversation as opposed to certain players deciding that they are just going to opt out, because that is such a bad look, especially when your team is playing for a title. And listen, the NFL folks, they pay attention to certain things, and that is just something that I don't think anybody wants on their resume, that they walked out on their teammates, their brothers, as they were getting ready to play for a championship.
Pat, that's why we have you on, because I never thought of that scenario, but how you laid it out makes a lot of sense. Pat Smith, again, co-host of 3-Man Front in Birmingham. Pat, enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. I know there's a couple big games on Monday, and we'll talk at some point next year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. As he was laying out some thoughts there, and we're talking about these expanded conferences and the quality of the games that are going to be in the regular season, Chuck, I wonder, a lot of these games that a lot of us have ignored, not paid a lot of attention to, if the standard's still 6-6, there's going to be some struggles, maybe even to fill these spots because of the quality of the games in the regular season. Those that are at the middle to bottom end of the leagues may not be plentiful at 6-6 or better.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's I guess there was a couple of 5-7 teams that ended up playing in bowl games this year. I know Minnesota was one of them, I think.
Because Fleck didn't get that bowl bonus because they were 5-7, Chuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't win 6 games.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for that. You're gonna continue to see opt-outs, and I do think you'll see some of these bowl games die. I would like, as Pat was saying, for them to perhaps find a way where at least some of these bowl games can be integrated into the playoff. I don't know how you're going to do that without expansion. And, one of the things that I think's going to be the new argument, you kind of talked about it there to an extent, Tommy, a little bit earlier, is that, there's going to be a conference champion out there that's going to be maybe getting a bye or, doesn't have to play a really great team in their first-round game. But there's going to be a team from a different conference seated 2 or 3 spots below them who's probably better than they are. And to me, if you're really going to have a true playoff, you got to seed them 1 through 12, regardless of conference, regardless of championships, regardless of anything. You've got to seed them 1 through 12 and go from there.
We have that same issue in the NFL, though. I mean, Dallas is a better team.
Seems to be okay at Omaha.
Yeah, Dallas
seems to be okay there.
Yeah,
seems to work all right.
What I was thinking as Pat was talking again, I thought he brought a great point about the conference championship games. So, not just conference championships, but maybe a meaningful regular season game. Like the NBA years ago, when kids were coming out of high school and just going straight to the league, they nixed that, right? You got to spend 1 year of college and go. I don't know what the NFL could do to help out college football, but I would think there would be a way for postseason-wise for the NFL to get involved and help flourish college. Because to me, when college football flourishes, that helps the NFL. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would think there would be some way the NFL could get involved to help college football when it comes to postseason, opt-outs, and this sort of thing. I'm trying to pull out scenarios and different solutions in my head. I'm not the one to do it, but I would think Adele and his team could maybe help with this.
Well, there's going to be.
I don't think that's their job. That isn't their job. Their job's to protect their league. This is college football's creation. This is our creation, so to speak, as college football people. And if there are glitches in this system, we need to fix it. College sports needs to fix it. The NCAA, administrations, they need to fix it. Just like it's not Major League Baseball's job to, make college baseball work. Everybody's got to protect their own interests there. It'd be nice, if there would be something that the NFL could do. They do have, what is it, the Senior Bowl in Mobile? Mm-hmm. I think that'll be coming up in January. Hey, let me talk just for a second about McLarty Daniel. Maybe 2024 means a new automobile. Mike, it's that way for a lot of people. And if that is your situation, there are some things at McLarty Daniel you're going to notice that maybe you've not noticed at other automobile dealerships, and that's why I'd recommend you go there. You're going to feel the difference the minute you walk in. They're going to welcome you. There's going to be they're going to offer you something to drink, maybe a snack, something along those lines too. They're going to make you feel like you belong and like you're important to them because you are. You're going to get a great price. I promise you're going to get a great deal in any of their 6 Northwest Arkansas dealerships. But what you're really going to notice are all the things that happen after you're done buying the automobile. Saturday service, for example. Complimentary automobiles while that automobile is being serviced, which is important too. You don't want to be left out in the cold, particularly this time of year. You're going to feel that difference at McLarty Daniel. It's the way they've been doing business for a long time. They've got 6 dealerships, as I mentioned, in Northwest Arkansas, and you can always log on to McLartyDaniel.com.
And that's when we find our friend JR, who wants to talk about NIL on the McLarty Daniel hotline. JR, welcome in, man. You got about a minute.
Okay. Mike, just real quick. It's hard to fathom with the way that everything's going. I'm not going to go to the extreme that you were yesterday, Ty, with what you were saying, which I understand what you're saying about there's anything's possible, but it's hard to fathom that a kid coming out of high school, unless something changes, if he's a really good player, quarterback, running back, whatever he is, the sky's the limit on what he can make playing for a college. It would be crazy, to think that you would want to go to the NFL and get your body just beat down. I think the NFL is actually in trouble, honestly, if you want to know my opinion, because if you can go to college, get your education, and come out with $30, $40, $50 million, that could be that way in 5 or 10 years from now, I think the NFL is probably in trouble as far as getting good quality players out of college. So That's my opinion. So
I don't.
Well, until they figure out a way to keep him in college 6 or 7 years, which they may, they're still long-term for most of them more money in the pros.
I could be wrong, JR, and I don't think that's a horrible thought. I don't know if the money's ever going to reach that point. Like Marvin Harrison, for example, would make the most of any college player this next season, and the reports of him making $10 to $20 million in NIL have been all clarified as false. I just don't think it's going to reach that point.
Well, you are going to have, and you're going to have, and have right now, college quarterbacks making more than some guys in the pros.
Yeah.
Some starters in the pros.
Football Friday brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. They can restore and repair the damaged joint tissue that keeps you from the things you love. They can do it with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime right here at their Northwest Arkansas clinic. 479-999-1234 is their number. That's 479-999-1234. Be pain-free in 2024 with our friends at QC Kinetics.
Got a basketball game tomorrow in Bud Walton Arena. Eric Musselman had some thoughts yesterday. We'll get to some of those coming up.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Peter Burns for the SEC Network. You're listening to The Morning Rush. Yes, sir.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback.
It's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. And that's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want. From bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the Interweb, Instagram, Facebook thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot during the after Christmas sale at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Now through New Year's Day, Harry Robinson will pay your sales tax. Get no payments for 90 days, and nobody pays more for your trade than Harry Robinson. This does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about. A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
If you're way behind, I think you got to be 200 down to go blind, Neil. That means, Ty, that you are saying I am not going to win any tricks, but I haven't looked at my card. I'm just saying I'm not going to win any tricks. And so then you go about trying to lose every single one.
Let me just make sure I'm understanding. You're saying if I'm beating you and you're losing, you have to kneel to me? Is that what I'm understanding?
Not quite like that.
Final couple segments here of 2023 on the Morning Rush. Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, same usual shows today as we close out this year. Hope it's been a good year. I know it's been a great year for our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources, who now joins us. Larry, only a couple more days, man, before people can ride in style in 2024.
Absolutely. Hey, good morning, everybody. You know, I know this is a sports show, but I've got some pretty important local economic information to share with you guys. Would that be okay?
Bring it.
Bring it,
we
man.
Talk about that. Just yesterday, we came up with the TCII for the year for 2023, the Tommy Kraft Inflation Index.
Oh yeah.
Are y'all aware?
It's a key indicator. Yes.
You know what? It's as good an economic scion as any other, and basically it's science. We don't think about it at all year long. And then at some point right here near the end, Tommy will send dear, sweet Rita in to see us for that rate increase. And we do the math, and you'll come up with this index, and it's about as good as anything else.
Yeah.
And 3.715 this year %. So, you know, that's livable, but I am going to have to sell more cars. And, folks, if you're listening, I'm going to need your help. I'd like some help right here at the end of the year, but a lot of fun things going on over here at Rath Auto Resources. We're having a good time. We really appreciate our friends at ESPN Radio. Guys, y'all are great. Thank you for putting up with us all year long. And all you listeners, thank you for putting up with our ads, for supporting our business. We really appreciate it. And, you know, part of that is the Win in the Grin and Give a Palooza. We've been doing that all year long, having a lot of fun with it. We're giving away $1,000 Christmas recovery cash this afternoon. And if you haven't registered, that's easy. Follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook. You can get in there and get registered. You can go to our website and get registered right there. We're going to do that at 4 o'clock today. So don't miss out on that. $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. And these year-end clearance prices, just a couple of days left to take advantage of that. Savings up to $4,000 on Rath road-ready premium pre-owned cars and trucks in Fort Smith and in Springdale. And we've got that the big winter sales event going on with the Mitsubishis up there in Springdale, 0% financing available there, even some special financing and some cash back on certain models. So we've got a good inventory. Be a great time. Come on in and save. Get that new car. You've been putting it off all year. You put it off any longer, you're going to miss out. Come on in and see us this weekend. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale, the Meineke Car Care Centers at both locations. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
Larry, thank you for being such a great partner, and we look forward to another great year, and hope everybody comes and sees you this weekend.
I hope they do, too. I got to cover that spread.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Happy New Year, everybody.
He gave us a lot of. He gave. I'll pass that credit on to you this morning that he gave us. I will place that at your feet.
You don't know the whole backstory. You don't know that,
okay.
And we won't go into that now. But yeah, Larry's a good one right there.
Well, Arkansas's got a game tomorrow where probably none of you know the coach of UNC Wilmington, a single player, and that's okay. It's a good basketball team that's walking in here. You do know that they went into Rupp and beat Kentucky, who's the best team in the SEC, one of the best teams in college basketball this year. UNC Wilmington's got a squad. I think you do to a certain extent. Still trying to figure out, tinker some things. What are you going to do in terms of a starting lineup in a rotation, though? Eric Musselman said we saw the four-guard lineup. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see it a good chunk the rest of the season.
You're talking about our last game against a team that didn't have great size. Never one time have I said, hey, we're rolling with this four-guard lineup. Here's who the four-guard. We're still trying to figure out who we are, just as we have the last 4 years. We don't have a ton of continuity with returners, as do many teams across the country right now in all sports. And so what we do against Wilmington is not necessarily what we've done against Wilmington or Abilene Christian, or certainly not what we'll do against Auburn.
I don't know what we're going to see tomorrow in terms of a starting lineup and a rotation. I do think it's going to be different, though, Tommy. You kind of referenced it earlier. I think we'll see another starting lineup change. I don't know how many that is this year, but definitely, again, hoping to get some more continuity before conference play at this point. Guys solidifying themselves, basically.
Oh, I think so. And, whether minutes, go up or down or start or whatever. Chuck, you talked about this earlier. You're playing 35 or 36 or 37 minutes, and you're coming off the bench. You're as big a part of the equation as anyone on that team. And I understand where Muss is coming from. He wants to have that insert, but and have some scoring power coming off the bench. But you're playing 35 or more minutes, you're a starter.
Well, yeah, and I mean some of this again may vary from game to game. Too much was made about that four guard lineup the other night. I mean, they were playing a team that didn't have a guy taller than 6'7". It'll work then. You can have Devo guard the four then, but there's going to be a lot of times in conference play where you're just not going to be able to do that. There will be too many physical mismatches. Wilmington, for example, they substitute 5 at a time. They get a lot of bench points. Those who are old enough to remember Eddie Sutton's go-go unit, back in the day. He'd substitute like that. They call it hockey line substitutions now. But, that's going to make this game a little bit different. Maybe you do want a little more bench punch than maybe you might in some other games. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, do you need some cash here the days after Christmas? Maybe you need to put some cash in your pocket to begin the new year. Take your broken, worn out, never to be worn again jewelry to Stiff's Gold and Silver. They'll give you cash and put it in your pocket today. They're taking broken, worn out gold and silver, sterling silver flatware, 90% silver coins, and much more, and turning it into cash for you right now. Why's now a great time? Because the price of gold's never been higher than it is right now. So if you've got some of that broken, worn out jewelry you're never going to wear, let Stiff's Gold and Silver turn it into cash for you today. Stiff's Gold and Silver, 4500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, right next door to Subway. And they're also at 400 North Walton Boulevard in Bentonville. You need more? Get more with Stiff's Gold and Silver, Fort Smith, and in Bentonville.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
She said my daddy would kill me if I brought you home.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's right. Hang on, what?
Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy?
Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want. From bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook
Dad.
thing?
I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X.
What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback!
Merry Christmas from your friends at Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This month, save a whole lot of money with year-end pricing on a huge inventory of Rath Road-ready vehicles. Plus, follow us on Facebook for how you can win $1,000 Christmas recovery cash. Remember, whether you're buying a car, selling a car, repairing a car, or anything else automotive, all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has a great selection of Arkansas hoodies and in-game shirts from Nike. The Golf Nut also has the best selection of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with the wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks and schedule a lesson on the simulator at 646-4430. Matt has over 10 years in the golf industry. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Do you want to be a part of the team that makes the best pizza and wings in town? Well, I've got great news. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is now accepting applications for a full-time cook. Fill out your application in person Monday through Saturday between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. You'll get to make the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Order the double cheese and sausage. Right here, dude.
The Big After Christmas sale is underway at Jelco Outdoors. Save like never before. Under the Big Tent, 25 to 50% off on all camo, casual clothing for men, women, and children. Nakona Western boots, now only $75 a pair. We're clearing out the tent with huge savings. 25 to 50% off the already low prices. The more you buy, the more you save. Don't miss the Big After Christmas sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, so you've got an SEC team that's played a bowl game, and Texas A&M losing to Oklahoma State. Got a few more on the docket coming up. We know Craig Adair doesn't seem heavily invested. He's our Tennessee fan, as Iowa will take on the Tennessee Volunteers. That's a Citrus Bowl in Orlando. You got Georgia and Florida State. Typically be an awesome game, except everyone's opted out. Florida State didn't have their starting quarterback. At least Carson Beck's playing for the Dogs. Missouri at Ohio State. Don't expect Marvin Harrison Jr. play. I know Missouri's trying to get to 11 wins, as is Ole Miss as they take on Penn State. But the big two on Monday. One features an SEC team, one does not. Alabama, Michigan, and Washington and Texas. Texas, a 4.5-point favorite. Michigan, a 1.5. Have you still come around the idea that Alabama's the underdog in this game? Even after talking to Pat.
I'll be interested to see, of course, Michigan with a huge alumni base, a blue blood in football. I mean, there's lots of money coming in on them as well. But I won't be surprised if that shifts to somewhere close or closer to a pick'em once we get close to kickoff.
Yeah,
the late money coming in on Bama.
Which it could happen, and that's Pat kind of alluded to. For those that missed our conversation with Pat Smith earlier, it'll be in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. In the aspect that you could see some late money coming on Ben. I just think it's cool. Milroe gets told by Bill O'Brien, their old OC, hey, probably not going to work out at quarterback. I like that kid. Y'all know I hate Alabama. I am so sick of Nick Saban. I am sick of the Crimson Tide. I am sick of Roll Tide. But I like that kid because he's persevered. He didn't quit. And now he's competing for a national championship, and he beat the best team probably in college football to get to this point, the Georgia Bulldogs. So it is going to be a fascinating Monday that we have ahead of us, the actual two college football games that I care about, at least this weekend, and then the following weekend on Monday night. We'll have that. By the way, we'll talk about this next year. Got to move that college football game to Saturday night. I know it's for rating. You got to get it off.
You're not going to compete with the NFL, are you?
Well, there's an idea out there that the NFL, again, helps you on this. You have two playoff games and wild card games leading up to that said college football play. There's a way to the college football has to go to the NFL, and I don't know how much of a relationship there is between the higher ups in the NFL and the higher ups in college football, but I would like to see it. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I would like to see it at some point in time.
I'm with you. I don't like the Monday night either, so. Don't at all. All right, that's your SEC update. It is brought to you by our friends at Modular Orange. Make 2024 the year your business gets kind of caught up and becomes a one seed when it comes to their website. And seriously, websites generally aren't your comfort zone. That's not the lane you like to be in. Let somebody that loves that lane, that knows how to build, write, design, host, secure, launch, everything you need to do with a website. And then keep it up to date for you on a monthly basis as needed. Do that for you. And it's only $95 a month. Just $95 a month with Matchstick Studios and their Modular Orange product. See examples of the work and what I'm talking about, more questions and FAQs that are on their website as well at modularorange.com. Again, $95 a month. Happy New Year from Matchstick Studios and Modular Orange. Time to go to the races now. And it will be a long racing weekend at Oaklawn as we welcome in our friend Lang Whitman. And our horse racing update from Oaklawn each week is brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. First of all, Happy New Year, Lang. And I know it's going to be a nice long weekend of racing here on week 3 of racing, Friday through Monday this week for a Happy New Year at Oaklawn.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you guys and the listeners as well. As you said, we roll into week 3. It seems like it's been a while since I've been on here, even though it's just missed 1 week. They took off for the Christmas weekend. But yeah, we're week 3, race days 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the meet. Looking forward to 4 big stakes races on the cars this weekend.
Yep, and you mentioned those stakes races, including a name I think a lot of people know. That's the Smarty Jones Stakes in honor of one of the great champions of all time at Oaklawn.
Yeah, no doubt the 2004 winner of the Rebel, the Arkansas Derby, and the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, came up just short of winning the Triple Crown and then the Belmont Stakes that year. But, we start out Saturday with the $150,000 Poinsettia Stakes for 3-year-old fillies and mares running 5.5 furlongs. A couple of the top contenders look to be both from the Steve Asmussen barn, named High Class and Topsy. Then we roll into Sunday. You have the year-end stakes for $200,000 for 2-year-olds at 1 mile. That's another little short information here. Sunday will be the last day for every horse's season and their age. Every horse turns for racing age. Every horse's birthday is January 1st. So those 2-year-olds that race Sunday become 3-year-olds on Monday. So the last day to get your 2-year-olds out there on the track at Oaklawn. The top choices in this race Sunday look to be Naomi Beach, Ice Cold, and Dim and Pearls for trainer Steve Asmussen, Kenny McPeak, and Brad Cox, respectively. Also, we have the Renaissance Stakes for $150,000, another 2-year-old race, this one for just 6 furlongs. And the top contenders look to be Valentine Candy, Booth, and Normandy Hero. Before we roll into Monday with the Smarty Jones Stakes, the first leg of the Triple Crown Series at Oaklawn. This race is for 1 mile and 16th for 3-year-olds. The newly turned 3-year-olds, $300,000, and the winner will get 10 points toward the starting gate in the Kentucky Derby. The points accumulate positions 1 through 5 with 10, 5, 3, 2, and 1 points, respectively.
All right. Well, you've always been good with these Friday picks and kind of a long shot. What's your had one that didn't quite get to the line but still made good money a week or two ago. What's your best pick today as we start the weekend of racing?
Yeah, the opening weekend, my long shot ran second. Didn't quite get there. 2 weeks ago, the long shot did hit, had a $23 winner given out here. Hopefully some of the listeners might have had that. Today, I don't really have a long shot that I really like, but I have a mid-price horse that could pay $10 to $12 to $15 if it gets to the line first. So we're going to look at race 7, horse number 10, Don't Wait Up. At 5 to 1 on the morning line, Rafael Bejarano rides for trainer Gennaro Garcia. Now, here's a horse that came in last on opening Saturday 3 weeks ago, but was the 3 to 1 favorite that day. Don't Wait Up had won his prior 2 races, one at Churchill Downs, one at Indiana Downs, with nice speed figures. The quick bounce back tells me that the trainer and the connections think that last race was kind of a fluke and an off day and not caused by any injury with the poor effort. Add in a slight drop in class today, as the horse has 4 career wins and 10 starts at the 6 furlong distance today. That adds up to my best bet of the day. There's a couple of other horses in here that I know are going to get bet, so I think the 5 to 1 odds are going to hold up. My best bet of the day at Oaklawn, race 7, horse number 10, Don't Wait Up.
All right, Lang, good information. Looking forward to another fun weekend. If you want any of Lang's picks this weekend, or maybe you're just heading down for a particular weekend, at the Railbird 333. So whatever social media platform you use, Facebook or Twitter, just search at the Railbird 333, and you can get Lang's picks and sign up for all year, or just grab them for that weekend. Lang, Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
I look forward to talking to you, Tommy. Happy New Year to everyone.
All right, Lang Whitman with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline with a update from Oaklawn. It's brought to you by Brothers Roofing and Restoration. If you've had hail damage to your roof in recent weeks, and there was a hailstorm that moved through Garland County. Speaking of Oaklawn, it was right in that area out towards Royal and Lake Hamilton and that area. They can come and inspect your roof. So if you know you had hail damage and you're not sure whether or not your roof needs to be replaced or repaired, Brothers Roofing and Restoration can do that for you. If you've got a leaky roof, man, we've had some rain lately. You've got some spots in your ceiling that, hey, when did that start? How did that happen? Well, let Brother come out and take a look at that roof and find out whether it needs to be replaced or repaired. Or if you've got trouble with your insurance company, they're fighting you over the roof and they don't want to replace it. Let Brother go to work for you because he understands both sides of the process having a career not only as an insurance adjuster, but now a roofing contractor as well. He's got 30 years of experience in the roofing business. 479-353-3877. That's Brothers' direct number. 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing and Restoration.
Do you feel any better than at 6:01 this morning?
I
or
do.
Do you feel worse?
I feel slightly better.
Okay.
I think just moving around. I don't know what in the sinus congestion has seemed to subside.
Our Matt Jones, who has taught me a lot the last year or so. I'm going to go get you after the show.
Yeah.
What's called a medicine ball. Have you ever had a medicine ball before?
Well, I've used one at the gym, but I think we're talking about something
separate
different
thing. It is a certain drink that he alerted me about and brought to my attention, and it will probably help you within the next day or two be recuperated and good.
Cure what ails you?
Yes.
All
I
right.
had never had one before. Matt brought me one to a live show last year, and I swear by them now. So I will get
What
you
is in a
one.
medicine ball?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Oh.
It's kind of like a hot dog. I don't really care what's in it. I just like it tastes good. I don't care what's in the medicine ball. It just makes you feel better.
Where do you get it?
A coffee place that doesn't pay me to talk about.
Okay. All right. So it's one of them deals. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I don't mention anything anymore without getting paid. That's my 2024. I'm not mentioning anything on these airwaves without seeking monetary value of some sort from that said company, especially if they're a corporation.
Well, I can't argue with that. So
You've rubbed off on me.
yeah. Well, I've taught you something at least.
Yeah. I apparently rubbed off on you this week when I got you
Yeah.
sick. Actually,
I don't
I'm
know if
blaming
you did it.
I'm blaming your kids. You said
Well-
there's a possibility of it being in the house, so I'm going to say that it was your
I'm just
kids' fault.
hoping whatever's going on at my house is cleared up before the weekend. I don't need weekend plans run amok with illness.
You mentioned, are you willing to disclose what the possibilities of you doing on your birthday, or is that you're keeping that in house?
The plan right now is that all of the kids, the oldest one is taking the younger two to Branson.
Okay.
So me and Laura are gonna have run of the mansion here.
So
I'm gonna get to play golf is what I'm hoping. The weather will improve. Got to work Saturday, but
you do?
Well, some other work, other jobs.
Oh.
Yeah.
You do that to yourself.
Yeah, well, got to happen. And then Sunday and Monday should be tee it high, let it fly, baby.
Well, I'm heading to Chicago. Hopefully it's not too chilly up there. Going to eat some deep dish pizza. We're going to go to a famous steakhouse tonight and go to my 8th wedding on Saturday of this year. 10 next year. Already looked at the calendar. 10 next year. I was told to block off all of September for my youngest sister's wedding who just got engaged recently. So
you got to take
I won't be working in September on the weekends, apparently.
We may need to have a discussion about that. We got a little thing called football season.
You can talk to Summer about that.
Well,
It's a family obligation. I'm sorry.
Every weekend?
She said block them off, so I'm just doing what I'm told. I'm blocking off all September. That'll go over well.
All right. Send those tapes and resumes to
Tommy.craft at hitthatline.com.
Hey, it's Football Friday for the last time of the 2023 calendar year, brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. They can heal that joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime, getting you back to the pain-free life and pain-free movement you love in 2024. 479-999-1234. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Happy New Year, everybody.